Before you find out how he lost everything, you need to hear this conversation first, because nobody in Umuahia knew her name yet.
Ngozi, who is that man?
That is Dr. Kelvin Chukwu. He works at the teaching hospital. Chidi, I think it's time we talked honestly. I have grown. My life is entering a different level now. I cannot continue with someone who still lays blocks by the roadside.
Ngozi, I sold everything for you. I starved for you.
Nobody forced you. I never asked you to suffer. I only allowed you to help because you insisted.
He thought that was the strangest night of his life. He had no idea it was only the beginning. Chidi Ume was 24 when he met Ngozi Arayize at the popular Junction Market in Umuahia. He was a bricklayer's apprentice, strong-armed, soft-spoken, the kind of young man known in the neighborhood for finishing any job without complaint. Ngozi, on the other hand, was ambitious. She spoke about becoming a nurse the way other girls spoke about weddings, with hunger in her voice. And Chidi admired that hunger. He told his elder brother, Obina, "That girl has fire in her belly. I want to help her reach her dream." Obina, ever the cautious one, just shook his head slowly. "Helping is good, my brother. But don't pour your whole life into another person's cup." Chidi laughed that off. He believed love required sacrifice, and he was ready to give his. So when Ngozi got admission into the School of Nursing, the joy on that girl's face. It convinced Chidi completely. "I will carry this weight with you until you finish," he told her. "When you rise, I rise." And Ngozi, holding his hands tightly, promised him, "The day I become a nurse, I will make you my husband before the whole town." So Chidi began working double shifts, laying blocks from sunrise until his hands blistered. He paid her hostel fees. He bought her textbooks. He even sold his only gold chain, a gift from his late father, mind you, just to cover her first semester dues. But then, 3 months into her training, something strange happened. An envelope appeared at Chidi's roadside shed, slipped under a stone, containing money he had not asked for, and honestly, did not understand. No name, no note, just exactly enough to cover the shortfall he'd been quietly worrying about that very week. Chidi stared at that envelope for a long time, wondering who in this whole town would help him without wanting to be thanked. Now, the envelopes kept coming. Never large, never explained, but always arriving exactly when Chidi needed them most. He asked around quietly. Nobody admitted to it. His friend Uche even joked one evening, "Maybe God has an accountant in this town." Chidi didn't laugh at that one, though. Something about the pattern unsettled him. But he had no time to chase it. Ngozi's demands were growing heavier every semester. Her calls started changing tone, too. Less love, more lack. "Chidi, I need new uniforms. Chidi, the practical fees increased. Chidi, other girls are not suffering like me." And Chidi never refused her, even when it meant skipping his own meals. One evening, Ngozi's mother, Mama Arayize, visited his shed unannounced. She looked him over, his worn slippers, his thinning frame. And she said, gently but heavy with meaning, "My son, I see fire in your eyes for my daughter, but I also see something changing in her voice when she calls me. Ambition can make a person forget who carried them."
"Ngozi is not like that, Mama," Chidi answered firmly. "She
promised me marriage. Mama Arize just looked at him. Promises are cheapest when spoken by a mouth that has not yet tasted.
Chidi walked her to the road, unsettled, but still unwilling to believe it. And that same week, another envelope arrived. This one with a torn edge, just barely revealing the corner of a name he almost recognized, before he quickly folded it away, telling himself it wasn't the time to chase mysteries. He had a woman's future to build, after all.
Ngozi's graduation finally came. After 3 long years of Chidi's sacrifice, he even sold his own bricklaying tools that month just to buy her a proper graduation gift, a wristwatch he genuinely could not afford. He rehearsed what he'd say to her that evening, whispering it to himself on the way there. Now that you've made it, let's finally tell your mother we're ready. But when he arrived at the small party organized in her honor, something felt wrong. Immediately. Ngozi was wearing a new dress he didn't recognize, and standing close beside her, a tall man in a crisp shirt, laughing louder than anyone else in the room. Ngozi, Chidi asked, pulling her aside, "Who is that man?" Her smile faded, just like that. That is Dr. Kelvin Chukwu. He works at the teaching hospital.
Chidi, I think it's time we talked honestly. I have grown. My life is entering a different level now. I cannot continue with someone who still lays blocks by the roadside. His voice cracked. Ngozi, I sold everything for you. I starved for you. And her reply? Ice cold. Nobody forced you. I never asked you to suffer. I only allowed you to help because you insisted. She turned toward Kelvin, who watched the whole thing with this amused, superior little smile, like a man watching an insect he found mildly interesting. Chidi walked out of that party in silence, but as he crossed the compound gate, he heard laughter behind him, mocking laughter. And then one voice, a woman's voice he didn't recognize, muttered, just loud enough for him to catch. That man doesn't know what he's walking away from. Turned around. But whoever said it had already vanished into the crowd. Word of the breakup spread through Umuahia the way water finds every crack in dry earth. And Uche, furious on his friend's behalf, marched straight to Dr. Kelvin's new house. "You built her," Uche said, "on top of another man's sweat, and you feel no shame?" Kelvin just sipped his drink, unbothered. "I didn't force Ngozi to leave him. She saw what she wanted. I simply happened to be it." "You are celebrating another man's sacrifice," Uche shot back. And Kelvin's smile thinned, just slightly. "Careful, young man. You don't know everything about me, and you certainly don't need to." Something in that last line made Uche stop. Not fear exactly, more like suspicion. He left that house more disturbed than when he arrived, though he couldn't yet say why. Meanwhile, Chidi sat outside his empty shed, staring at 6 years he'd poured away. And that evening, for the first time, a woman approached him directly, instead of leaving an envelope behind a stone. "My name is Amara," she said. "I sell fabric 2 streets from here. I think you should know something before you make any decision about your life." "Know what?" Chidi asked, exhausted. She hesitated, glanced toward Kelvin's house. "Dr. Kelvin Chukwu is not a new name in this state," she said carefully. "But it isn't my story to tell fully. Ask Ngozi where his first wife is." And then she walked away, leaving Chidi staring after her, his heart suddenly racing with a question he hadn't even thought to ask. Chidi did not sleep that night. Those words kept echoing. His first wife. So the next morning, he went, not to Ngozi, but straight to the teaching hospital records office, where an old friend from his bricklaying days worked as a security guard. A little persuasion, a little truth, and Chidi learned that Dr. Kelvin Chukwu had indeed married once before. A woman who left the country for the United Kingdom 3 years earlier after their marriage collapsed under circumstances the hospital staff still whispered about. But the marriage had never been formally dissolved. Chidi's hands trembled as it all sank in. He thought about confronting Ngozi right there and then, but he stopped himself. Something told him to wait, to be certain, to let the truth arrive on its own time. He went back to his shed and found another envelope waiting, heavier this time. And inside, for the first time ever, a folded note. You deserve better than silence. Some of us have been paying attention longer than you know. Chidi looked up, and there she was.
Amara, watching from a modest distance, not hiding, just waiting to be noticed. "It was you," he said, walking toward her. "All this time. Why?" And Amara, steady, calm, answered him honestly. "Because I watched a man break his back for someone who never once asked how he was doing. I couldn't fix your heart, but I could make sure you never went hungry while you gave everything of yourself away."
The wedding between Ngozi and Dr. Kelvin was set for the following weekend. A lavish affair, meant to announce Ngozi's arrival into a whole new social class. Chidi wasn't invited, but Uche insisted they go anyway. "If a storm is coming," he said, "let us not hide from it." The hall was full, white chairs, gold ribbon everywhere when the ceremony began. Ngozi stood glowing in her gown, certain she'd finally escaped a life of struggle. The pastor had barely finished the second reading when the hall doors opened and a woman none of the guests recognized walked in. Quiet, deliberate steps, suitcase in hand, passport visible in her bag, a British visa stamp catching the light. "I am Dr. Kelvin Chukwu's wife," she announced, calm, unshaken. "I have come to ask my husband why he is signing papers to marry another woman, while our marriage certificate is still valid in this country." Chaos erupts, energetic, almost breathless delivery. The hall dissolved into pandemonium. Kelvin's face drained of color, guests whispering, phones rising to record the whole thing unraveling in real time. "Kelvin, is this true?" Ngozi cried out, horrified. "It's complicated, Ngozi," he stammered. "I can explain." "There is nothing to explain," the first wife cut in, cold as ice. "I only returned because my lawyer advised me our divorce was never finalized." "I did not come for revenge. I came for the truth." It seems the truth found the right day to arrive, and Ngozi stood there, frozen in her white gown. The same public humiliation she'd once helped inflict on Chidi, now raining down on her, in front of the entire town. Ngozi never went back to Chidi, though, honestly, the whole town watched to see if she'd try. Some say pride kept her away. Others say shame did. Either way, Chidi didn't go looking for her either. He'd already begun rebuilding, and this time, not alone. With Amara's quiet support, Chidi went back to bricklaying, but this time as the owner of his own small construction team. Money Amara had saved from her fabric business became the seed for that new beginning. Not out of pity, out of belief. Months later, under a simple blue canopy in Umuahia, Chidi married Amara, the woman who had loved him quietly through envelopes and silence, long before she ever loved him openly. Uche stood right there beside him as best man,
finally getting to say the words he'd wanted to say for years.
This is the kind of ending loyalty deserves. As for Ngozi, she left Umuahia not long after the scandal, looking for a fresh start somewhere nobody knew her story. Some say she still believes she did nothing wrong. Others say the sound of that hall, the gasping, the whispering, the recording, still visits her some nights when she can't sleep. But Chidi? He never celebrated her downfall. He simply moved forward, carrying nothing of that old life except the lesson it left behind. That sacrifice given freely is never wasted, even when it's given to the wrong person. Because somewhere, someone is always watching, who notices what truly matters.
And if this story reminded you of someone who gave everything and got nothing back in return, I pray you find your own Amara. Someone who sees your loyalty before you ever have to prove it. If you believe that Ngozi did nothing wrong to Chidi, let us know in the comment section below. Thank you.